What have you had to learn, or what did you have to learn as a creative director that you didn't really need as a creative? What skills?
I found, like a lot of creative people, I think, what seems to happen is if you're a good writer or a good art director, eventually somebody whips that away from you and puts you in charge. And I think that it's most creative directors' experience is to be better and better as a creative person, and then to take over as a creative director, and it's a completely different job. You know, I think that being a good creative is about selfishness, essentially. You've got to be better than the team next door, the team down the corridor, the team in the next agency, the team anywhere in the world. And really, creative direction, I hope, is about altruism. It's about making a situation where everyone else in the department can do well. The problem is that nobody prepares you for that. So the first thing I felt was panic. And then I was just smart enough to get some coaching. I know this is going to sound a bit forced, given that you're all here as on a coaching course, but I found that I couldn't do it. But I met somebody who taught me how to see other people in the department. I know it sounds really weird, but you have no previous experience. I had no previous experience of working out that people are different and they need to be managed differently. So I'm like a massive fan, massive fan of coaching. And I think I can honestly say that if I hadn't taken some in the first 6 months taking over from David Abbott, I probably wouldn't have been doing it, you know, 6 months after that. So I would say first thing you do is get somebody who doesn't work where you work, but does work with people who work in difficult jobs, to tell you what to do, you know, give you some hints. And if you get the chance, is a good point. People will say to you that coaching is expensive. And even when I did it, you know, a long time ago, it was £400 an hour or something like that. But you have to go back and say, do you want me to win pitches? Do you want me to keep business? Do you want me to keep staff? Do you want me to be able to train people who aren't performing well to perform better? And if you want all of those things, I'm going to make you a lot of money, and I'm going to save you a lot of money, and you need to invest 5% of that in me and my skills. So I've got one more thing that I want to say, and I would really like it if nobody played this tape to Andrew Robertson. But I came to believe massively in coming in on time and going home on time. There are so many pressures on you to spend longer at work and to take more stress home with you. And I believe that you can do the job for longer and do it better if you work a 5-day week and you go home at 6 o'clock. I don't know what it is in your country. If it's in Spain, obviously that means 9 o'clock because you've got the 3-hour lunch. It's very close. But I really believe that you've got to go home to your family to make sure they're still there, you know, one day when you get home. A lot of divorces in my game, in my generation of the BBDO creative world. And I think that it means that you come back with an insight into what it's like to be a person who lives with their family. And most of your customers hang out with their wives, hang out with their husbands, see their kids grow up. And if you don't, then you're just guessing what their life is like. So I used to stand up in meetings as often as possible. So if you sit down, everybody gets cozy. I used to always let people know at the beginning of the meeting what time it was going to end. I've got 10 minutes, I'm really sorry. Let's really get to it. Because everybody likes talking to you because the problems, you know, are being nursed if they're talking to you. But I think you've got to run people through. Give them enough time, but no more. So that was a bit of a tip.